Changing your roof can be a significant home improvement, and knowing what to expect can help you prepare for a smooth experience. Here's a breakdown of what the process typically involves. Let's dive in. My name is Marc Devisse. Welcome back to the Florida Roofing and Gutters channel, where we are rebuilding the Gulf Coast one home at a time. What to expect when you are planning to re-roof your home. First things first, you want to get a free inspection or free estimate from a roofing contractor, a licensed roofing contractor. So someone's going to come out to your home, they're going to get on your roof, they're going to do a thorough inspection, they're going to want to know the age, they're going to see if there's any problems, leaks, and deterioration. From there, you guys are going to discuss some options. There's different types of roofing materials to select from. Maybe you want to go back with what you had, or maybe you want to upgrade to a different product. The most common are going to be metal, shingle, or tile. Tile does not last as long as in the hurricanes that we have here. So you're going to discuss these options. There's underlayment, there's fastening systems, there's the roofing that we see, shingle, tile, or metal. There's going to be a detailed conversation on how they do it, how you want it done, and you're going to agree and talk about it. From there, you're going to want to start talking colors, right? Are you planning on maybe repainting your house and you want a different color roof? Maybe you love the color that you have and you want to just stick with that. This all needs to be decided before talking next steps. Other things to think about are skylights. Are you adding or replacing gutters? Do you want to add new gutters, repair new gutters? Anytime a roof is done, the gutters, trying to save the gutters is a bad idea. Unless they were brand new for some reason, it's really much better product in the end if you replace the gutters at the same time you replace the roof. More than likely, the gutters need to be removed from the house while we're replacing the roof. And no matter how careful a roofer is, they just never sit back correctly or as perfect as they were. So keep that in mind when you are pricing out your roof project. Usually a roofer will also handle gutters. If they don't, options are calling another roofer who does both or hiring a gutter company separately. But keep that in mind when you are interested or doing your research on new roofs. It's not just the roofing, it's the roofing system. Once all the selections are done, it's time to move forward and execute an agreement. So make sure you're reading the agreement, you look at the exclusions, you understand what you're signing. It really all comes down to trust who you work with. And if you trust who you work with, you still want to review the contract, but you want to go into this cautiously optimistic. So just make sure that you've done your research on the roofer, their community involved, or whatever is important to you, licensed, insured. Those are probably the minimum standards. You really want to see who they are, who you'll be working with, what their team looks like. Are they local? Do they have an office here, or are they local? That's totally different. Anyone can go and sign a lease and now have an office here. So just be careful who you're working with, be cautious. Once you sign the agreement, you're probably going to want to put a deposit. There's nothing wrong with that. If you've done your research, get on Google. If they have reviews that say, hey, they took my money, I probably would shy away from giving them a deposit or even working with them. But if they've got, several or a lot of Google reviews that say they're a great company, I would not hesitate in giving them a deposit. Once the contract is executed, usually the next steps are going to be into permitting. So as the homeowner, you're going to have some paperwork to sign for the roofer, for the counties that you're working in. And from there, the contractor roofer will submit their permit application to the county. Everywhere in Florida, you must have a permit for your roof. So if anyone ever tells you, we don't need to pull a permit, we're doing a layover, we're doing, just a repair. Repairs need a permit $500 or more in most areas. Okay, they still need a permit. So don't fall for, oh, no permits needed, no permits needed. We are seeing repairs done from storms 2 or 3 years ago. FEMA is coming back and saying, you didn't pull a permit for this. Show us how you got the work done. We documented the damage. Okay, so be careful when someone tells you we don't need a permit. That's not the case. You do need a permit. The county wants to be involved. They want to know a licensed contractor. We have very strict licensing laws here in Florida, and they want to make sure that people are abiding by the building code. So if another storm does come, homes are built to code, and they want to protect the licensed contractors that have gone through rigorous testing and experience requirements to be licensed in the state of Florida. So prior to the crews showing up, I would take pictures off the wall. There's going to be vibrating. There's going to be, the house will shake a little. Any shelves, any nice pictures on the wall, take those off. Why risk them falling off the wall and breaking? You're going to have some movement, so be aware. If you can be away from the house for the day or two that they're tearing off the roof, better for you. You don't want to be in that active construction zone. It's like a war zone out there with materials flying off the roof, and it's just not a safe place or fun place to be while your home is getting dried in or the roof torn off. Once the roof and the guys come out there, they're going to protect your AC units. They're going to put some tarps down to try to collect any flying debris. They're going to protect your bushes as much as possible. There's going to be a dumpster in the driveway or a dumpster there. So keep that in mind, that you don't want to have your car in the garage when the dumpster shows up, because it will be blocked in. So make sure your cars that you're going to be planning on using are out of the driveway, or coordinate with the roofer, know when the dumpster's coming, so you don't get put in that pickle and have to move the dumpster, delay the project. These third-party dumpster companies, usually, roofers sub out dumpsters a lot. They're going to come back when they can, so that it will delay the project. From there, the crews are going to show up. They want to show up early when it's still a little cool out. So they'll be there. For us, it's around 7, 8 a.m. They start unpacking. There's going to be a crew 6 to 8, depending on the size of your roof. And they are going to go at it. They're going to start tearing the roof off, throwing things in the dumpster. It's going to be loud. It's going to be messy. It's going to take, depending on the size of your roof, it takes 1, 2, 3 days to dry in average size roofs here in Florida. That's the hardest part, as far as noise and debris, is tearing it off and drying it in. Once the roof is dried in, we need to inspect the decking. So the wood, if there's any wood rot, they replace that. They re-nail everything. That's the stage while they're tearing off. So you're going to hear nail guns. You're going to hear garbage in the trash. If it's a tile roof, they're going to be clanking really heavy. So keep that in mind. Once the decking is inspected and re-nailed to current code, then the secondary water barrier goes on, and then the roof is dried in. You never want to leave your roof exposed overnight in a non-drying state. So what we do is we tear off in sections. We would tear off a facet, which is a side of a roof, a section of the roof. We would dry it in, and then move on to the next section. You really don't want to tear off the entire roof. That's how you get in trouble with rains coming in. Especially here in South Florida, Gulf Coast, there could be rains in 15 minutes from a blue sky. So you just want to make sure that you can immediately cover up anything. And if you have the entire roof exposed and a rainstorm comes, it's big problems. Once the roof is dried in, then there's going to be an inspection, and that we're at the county's mercy. During busy times, it could take 2-3 days. Oftentimes it is the next day. So during that time, we just have to wait and be patient for the inspector to come, inspect the roof, and give his blessing. During that time, we would deliver the shingles or the roofing material. So if it's shingles, or if it's tile, or if it's metal, whatever it is, that's when the roofing material comes in and gets roof loaded. So depending on the material, it's going to be ground shipped and then loaded by a separate company. If it's tile, if it's metal, we're going to bring our roll forming machine and we're going to bend it on site. Then it will be loaded by the roofers. If it's shingles, it's going to be delivered and loaded by the supply house. So it all depends on the material selected, on how it gets delivered and how it gets loaded onto the roof. Once the roofing material gets installed, there's oftentimes a roof in progress inspection. So we have to roof the house 25%, and then we have to call an inspection. What we often do is we call the inspection the same day the roofers are starting. They know to get 25% done, and we hope that the inspector comes as soon as possible in the morning so we can continue. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they don't show up till later in the afternoon, and that means we have to come back the next day. So just keep that in mind. There's stages, there's other people involved, there's, piecing things together to get the project done. Once the tear off is started, once you actively have people on site working, the process should be between 10 and 20 days, depending on the material selected. So 20 days of disruption, where we're on site working 3 to 5 of those days. There's delays in between, there's scheduling. So 10 to 20 days is a good average on how long the roof should take after tear off or after we show up on site. And of those 10 to 20 days, you're going to have 3 to 5 days of employees actually there working, maybe 5 to 7, somewhere in there. It's not every day we're working. There's not something to do every day of those 10 to 20 days. Now, a lot can come up during the process, and I want you to know that we are here to help. If you have questions, need guidance, do not hesitate to reach out. I've been a local contractor here in Florida for almost 20 years, and we are here to help. My contact information is below. Give me a call. Let's talk through your project to make sure you feel confident and informed every step of the way. So once the roofing material is installed, it's time to final cleanup and final inspections. After the roof is done, the roofer must provide a magnet or a magnet sweep and go around the house multiple times. Once the magnet goes around, it should pick up any flying nails. Always prudent to be careful after roofing, because no matter how many magnets sweeps you do, there's always a possibility that a nail got stuck in the grass and didn't come up. These will pop up next time you mow your lawn, so just be cautious, okay? Call the roofer back out, ask him to sweep again. More than happy to do that. We are there to make sure it's a safe property. It's just only so much you can do at one time. One thing I forgot to mention, before you start the roof, it's really great to try to mow the lawn as low as possible. This helps when we're trying to clean up and picking up all the nails. They're not hiding in long grass or gets lodged down in the dirt. So just a little insider tip, mow the lawn, get it at the shortest setting right before we start the roofing, and it will help with the cleanup process and make sure that we can see all the debris and get it out so no one steps on anything sharp. You're gonna have a final walkthrough with your roofer. You're gonna walk around the house, you're gonna ask questions. Hey, was that supposed to be there? Hey, what's that? Hey, if they should be proud of the roof that they've done. They should walk it with you, sign off, you're happy with it. From there, we're getting final inspection. Final inspections from the county. Sometimes in busy times, final inspections get put off because the county's busy doing dry-in or roof in progress inspections. They know that the roof is safe at final inspection, so these could take a few more extra days. They will get there, they will inspect, they'll either pass or fail. If it's a fail, call your roofer, they should already know, and they will fix the problem. And sometimes it's silly paperwork or something that's just very easy fix. Sometimes it's not, so just, that's the key, is hiring a professional, good roofer who's going to not be put in those situations. You've probably already gone through this with your roofer, but this is when the warranties are presented. You have a copy of the file, you have it handy. You talk about, hey, what do I do if there's a warranty issue? Contact the office. You just want to do all the closing paperwork at that time, provide the final payment to the contractor. You get to come home and look at that every day. Make sure through the process you've made sure that it's everything you imagined and you're happy with it. And the roofer should check in with you at 3-6 months, make sure everything's looking good still, there's no issues. Sometimes we'll go back out and just do a walkthrough just to make sure that we've sealed all the penetrations, there's no active issues. But all in all, the roof is in good shape and ready for whatever comes at it. I gave you a great overview of what to expect when changing your roof. That's why I filmed an entire series that goes deeper into each one of these topics. Click on the video that is on your screen right now and let's start your journey.